17 things secretly removed in Fortnite Season 2. I'm sitting here choking on my own tears, trying not to throw up when I say Colombo, who warmed the hearts of everyone, has been removed. Not only was Colombo absolutely adorable, but he also worked as a permanent launch pad, and you can feed him anything for a chance to get a free item. But unfortunately, with Season 2's arrival, Colombo is nowhere to be found, with all traces of him deleted from the game. Even Clomberries are completely gone. They were one of the most popular things to come to Fortnite in a while, and the entire community loved them. Fortnite themselves even posted that if anything happened to Colombo, they would eliminate Tilted. Well, Tilted is still standing, but Colombo is vaulted. Maybe one day it'll return with some baby Colombos. And we were even more surprised when we loaded into Season 2 and realized just how different the loot pool was. Now it feels super fresh, but something was missing. Due to the Striker Burst Assault Rifle being added, there's only room for one red dot gun it seems, because Epic has vaulted the MK7, the most popular gun of Chapter 3. I can't lie, this was everyone's favorite gun, and to see it gone so soon is a massive shame, but don't worry, it actually might be coming back in the next few weeks. Yes, the next funding station is between the Combat AR and the MK7, so if the community votes for it, it won't be vaulted for long. What definitely isn't coming back is the Foundation's mythic version. It was such an amazing weapon, and we are gonna miss that for sure. And if we're speaking about the Foundation, well, it is not just his mythic that's been removed. If you look into the distance, you won't see that big statue of the Rock overlooking the island anymore. Someone has literally sliced him in half. I mean, maybe it could have been hit by a tank rocket because the only thing that's left is his legs. And that's gotta be one of the most brutal ways to remove something from a season. And yet after years of waiting for this feature to come out, nobody is talking about weather being removed. 18 seasons of waiting brought us lightning and tornadoes, an incredibly game-changing experience that clearly had a ton of hype, but apparently not enough to make it into Season 2. Now, there is a great reason as to why tornadoes weren't kept around, and that's because of all the flying vehicles that'll be appearing throughout the season. But when it comes to lightning, we got no idea why it's gone. Hopefully, we see these features come back later in the chapter. And the same can be said for the most loved item of Chapter 3. When Spidey's web slingers were introduced into the game, everyone was obsessed with them, but from the day they were added, they have been considered one of Fortnite's biggest ticking time bombs. When it comes to collaboration items, they never stick around, and I mean that quite literally, which is why we were so shocked once Season 2 launched and the Daily Bugle was still standing. We all assumed it would be destroyed in the volcano, or maybe just replaced with a different POI. But with the Daily Bugle still here, all of our attention turned back to the web slingers, because we checked everywhere, from under bridges to spider webs, even tents. They are nowhere to be found. At first I was sad, because I thought they would never return, but if you take a look at the secret skin this season, you might have realized the Prowler is actually Miles Morales' uncle. Yep, there might be hope after all. Last season the shotguns were pretty balanced and had some variety, but thanks to a single change, the entire game feels different, and that's mainly down to the removal of the heavy shotgun. After spending years reworking this weapon, Epic literally brought it back for 3 weeks and then sent it straight back into the vault, replacing it with a drum shotgun. The Heavy had a fresh scope and rework, feeling like a completely new weapon, which is why we were surprised it was removed so soon. And this trend continues with yet another weapon that almost nobody has noticed is missing. One of Fortnite's most infamous weapons was first spotted in Chapter 1 when it was accidentally added into an LTM, and then had some cameos throughout Chapter 2. Of course, I'm talking about the machine pistol. It finally got its official release in Chapter 3 Season 1, and players were loving it. After spending years waiting for it to come out, we thought it would stick around longer than half a season, but Fortnite had other plans. The machine pistol can no longer be found in the game, and whether it'll actually appear again in the future is uncertain. But that's not the only item that needed to make room. Season 2 has a lot of plans, including tons of new vehicles, and sadly, some of our favorite items have been vaulted to prepare for their release. One of these is the Quad Crasher. It was finally brought back into the game last season after it was originally removed in Chapter 1. And like a lot of items, we all thought this one would last a lot longer. But as Season 2 is shaping up to be one of our biggest yet for vehicles, it makes a lot of sense that the Quad Crashers had to step aside. According to leaks, there's an upcoming vehicle named a Quad Bike, and I am betting it's the reason why Quad Crashers have been vaulted. And if you're someone who doesn't pay a lot of attention to these smaller details in Fortnite, well, you might want to fix that. With Season 2, supply drops have received a fitting change. While the loot inside is still the same, the classic blue supply drop design has been removed and replaced with a new Army-themed 7 supply drop. This will likely last for the entire season, and we might not see the blue design for months. In fact, we might even see a new reskin every season. I mean, who knows? But a removal in Season 2 that has the community in uproar isn't an item or a vehicle, it's something nobody ever expected to be removed. In Season 1, Fortnite introduced Crown Royales, where if you won while wearing a victory crown, it could be tracked through an exclusive emote. People finally had a fun way to show off their wins to friends, and everyone loved it. But suddenly, when Season 2 launched, Epic Games reset all crown counts, meaning that people who had hundreds of wins were put back to square one for absolutely no reason. This one caused a lot of anger in the community, with people feeling super demotivated after they spent all that time grinding crowns just to be deleted. And something else that was secretly taken away with the launch of Season 2 were all those amazing new consumables. Game-changing items such as the Guzzle Juice are no longer in the game, and you might have noticed that there are a lot of chug splashes around the map right now. Well, these have replaced the chili chug splashes that could be found last season. And finally, peppers have been vaulted, which nobody has noticed. We are so used to finding peppers around the map that it feels weird to say they're gone, but it makes sense with the new tactical sprint mechanic. Imagine sprinting with peppers, now that would be broken. But not as broken as the first ever 100% llama spawn that was added in Season 1. The Chapter 3 map had a lot of secrets, but one of the most useful was at a small farm in the snow, which had a llama inside of it. It was super unique in the fact that it had a guaranteed spawn every single game, so this was a lot of players' favorite drop spot. Well, it sucks to be those guys because they dropped here in Season 2 to find that the llama spawn is now completely gone. We got no idea why Epic removed this one. It was just a really fun way to spice things up, so hopefully we get a new secret llama spawn in the future. Right now in the loot pool, we have remote explosives and grenades, and that is about it. Well, luckily, we were expecting more to come in the future, like the unreleased homing anvil rocket. So why does it feel like there aren't any explosives? Well, it is actually because Epic secretly vaulted the grenade launcher and clingers from last season. Now, usually C4 replacing long-range explosives like these will be devastating, but luckily, we have the tank this season. And the secret removals only get more insane from here because there are so many items that have been vaulted in Season 2 that nobody's even realized, and some of them are simply because building was removed. Who knew that deleting building from the game could break Fortnite this much? Because building is gone, you can no longer place launch pads, even though an NPC was selling them at the start of the season. Feels bad for the people who spent their hard-earned gold to get a launch pad and then couldn't place it. And the same goes for armor walls, they also can't be placed. And an unintended result of the building removal also affects campfires. Since materials are no longer in default playlists, you can't stoke campfires anymore. I don't think anyone realized just how many features are directly connected to building. But some items that were removed would have been super OP if they stuck around, like the flare gun. This is no longer in the meta, and if it was, it would be so broken. We can't build for a week, and if a flare gun was shot into the sky and marked enemies, they wouldn't be able to defend themselves at all. You might also notice that Season 2 is missing one of Chapter 3's most unique consumables, the pizza party item. Yes, we can no longer throw down pizza boxes for our team to eat, and we have no idea why this one was removed. It was harmless. Although I suspect it was because Fortnite now has the tactical overshield. There was also another collaboration item last season that went under the radar and has been vaulted with the launch of the new season. While everyone was distracted with the web slingers removal, nobody realized that Epic also vaulted Nathan Drake's treasure map. As a collab, it was obviously never going to stick around, but people have already forgotten about it. It at least lasted longer than the Love Heart Sky. To celebrate International Women's Day, Fortnite added a huge heart-shaped moon, and while it had an awesome purpose, something as simple as a moon messed up the game massively. For some reason, the whole Fortnite island turned greenish. It had such a weird tint and players hated it. It's kind of hard to see at times, and instead of addressing it, it was secretly removed with the start of the new season. And something everyone is trying to get back is one of the most random removals of Chapter 3 to date. In Season 1, the Imposters LTM received its most anticipated update of all, when Epic Games added proximity chat to the game. It made the LTM feel super fresh, and players absolutely loved the added immersion. But for some reason, a few days ago, Fortnite deleted proximity chat from Imposters out of nowhere. Now, they didn't say whether it's because of a glitch or proximity chat would even return, but luckily, we will soon be getting proximity chat as an option in creative mode, so our favorite islands could also be immersive. While I still want it back in Imposters, this is a big step to Creative 2.0, and I cannot wait for that update. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.